Hi, Catherine here. In this final part, I'll go a bit into facts and figures as well as concerns related to this agreement. China is Ireland's fourth largest trading partner after the US, the UK, and Germany. China has major investments in Ireland. For example, they have Wuxi Biologics in Dundalk, County Louth. They are heavily involved, shall we say, but this video is not about China. You can easily Google all the ins and outs. The biggest concern is the use of these growth hormones, especially estradiol in cattle for meat. In context, these hormones are used all over the world except in the EU. Estradiol is extensively used in the US and Canada. You must have seen the cattle in the fields with ear tags in Ireland. They are far for identification and tissue sampling for BVD. So, in the US, for example, growth hormone like estradiol is implanted in the ear of cattle in the form of pellets. During slaughter, the ears are discarded and do not enter the human food chain. Estradiol is also used for reproductive management. One question I always get is, how long have these hormones been used in the US and Canada? Since the 1950s and 1960s, respectively. Approximately 90% of beef cattle in the US receive these implants. To be clear, I'm not talking about dairy cattle, veal calves, or poultry or pigs. Let's now get back to the topic at hand. We export our beef into the EU, our biggest market. With cheaper Brazilian beef coming into the EU, it will be direct competition. Irish farmers operate under climate reduction targets, nitrates limits, biodiversity measures, inspection regimes. Every regulation raises production costs, yet imported beef produced under different cost structures can compete on the same shelf. How can that be fair? That's where the level playing field argument comes from. Now, politically, Ireland voted against this agreement, but trade policy is decided at EU level. It passed under qualified majority voting. Ireland cannot opt out if it proceeds. There is another concern with the Irish consumers. Many are worried about Brazilian beef entering the Irish market itself. Under the treaty, the Irish government can do all sorts of technical inspections, fines, and other measures to stop the beef coming in. As for the Northern Ireland border, checks happen at ports under the Windsor framework. Goods entering the EU must meet EU standards. There isn't a free-for-all. That enforcement and monitoring remain critical. So where does that lead us? This agreement no doubt brings clear benefits for sectors like pharmaceuticals, technology, and spirits. But for Irish beef, it introduces real competitive pressure at a time when farmers are already under strain. This isn't about being anti-trade, it's about balance. It's about the standards Irish farmers uphold. The debate is not finished, the legal process isn't finished, and the economic consequences are very real. For rural Ireland, this isn't political theatre. It's livelihood, it's land, it's legacy, and that's why it matters. There are current issues like China suspending import of Irish beef, so do please check out our other videos. That's it for now. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.